I came to Hyderabad 10 years back. The plan was to stay for 4 months. And I'm still here. I don't know why. You know? And a lot of friends also I know, like, you know, they've just moved in here and they don't have any plans for life also. They have not bought property. They're just here. Love for the city, nahi. There's this magnetic attraction of laziness. That is there around the city, which is basically like you're just there, you can't move out, and there is always, before you go to sleep, there's this one voice which comes with the city's voice. Biryani kha ke so jana. Every other city is also lazy. Whichever we mentioned, everybody will, we are also lazy. But Hyderabad is the only city where I've come, where they are so proud of their laziness. They're so proud of their laziness that they've made it part of their culture. Whenever you ask a Hyderabadi, why are you so lazy? He'll be like, oh, it's part of our Nawabi culture. Like, what am I asking you? What are you telling me? I'm like, why are you 15 minutes late? He's like, oh, I've been like this since the 15th century, man. Like, I don't know. It's not even laziness, man. It's the sense of time itself. I don't know if you know. Because did you guys know that the word parso in Hyderabadi Hindi does not stand for day before yesterday. It stands for any time in the past. Because Hyderabadis love living in the present so much that they're always late for the future. And past they don't care about. If it happened before yesterday, everything is personal. Like, first time I heard it, I was surprised. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, dude, बहुत दिन हो गए मिलके. He was like, हाँ परसों ही तो मिले. I was like, dude, 3 महीने हो गया. He was like, हाँ वही परसों. Like, the following statement in Hyderabadi Hindi is true. कि COVID और World War II परसों हुआ. Like, they're fine with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can see it in the city also, man. The laziness, you can just, if you're like moving from one part of the city to another, you can just feel the laziness around, you know. You can take any 2 areas together. You can take any 2 areas in Hyderabad. You can put them together and you'll be like, how the fuck are these 2 areas part of the same city? You know, because they're so different in character. You know, and there is a reason behind it. It's because when people come and settle in Hyderabad, they don't settle in that area. They settle in that area in the time in which that area was built. And then they say, अब ये ऐसे ही रहेगा. अगर कुछ डेवलपमेंट करना है तो बाहर जाके कर लेना कोकापेट के पास. This is going to stay like this. For example, I come from this place called High-Tech City. Anyone's been to High-Tech City? Yeah? High-Tech City, how do I explain to you for those who have not been? ऐसा 10-15 साल पहले ना, अमेरिका हैदराबाद के बाहर आके ऐसा थोड़ा हिला लिया, ठीक है? And since the point that potent capitalist sperm fell on the ground, तब से जमीन से बिल्डिंगां उग रहे हैं बस. Dude, development के नाम पे उस पूरा एरिया को ऐसा रोलर कोस्टर राइड बना दे, dude. I'm not even kidding. There is this one exact spot in High-Tech City where I was standing in the middle. मेरा ऊपर से एक फ्लाईओवर जा रहा था, नीचे से एक अंडरपास जा रहा था, साइड से मेट्रो जा रहा था, और मैं बीच में खड़ा हूं चूतिया की तरह गूगल मैप्स पकड़ के. I'm like, हाँ मुझे लेफ्ट तो लेना है, पर कौन सा फ्लोर में यार? High-Tech City, woo, development. Side mein you go there, there'll be this one cable bridge which is there, where everybody's standing clicking, oh, development, cable bridge, khood jao. But then as you move into the city, na, you'll slowly notice that that cable bridge will slowly turn into a lakdi ka pool. Because it was that time's cable bridge. The lakdi ka pool will turn into a purana pool. And then you'll enter Old City, where time stopped in 1948, man. Because Old City वाले प्रेशर में आ गए कि नाम तो Old City रख दिए, कुछ नया नहीं बनाएंगे इधर. You guys know that Old City was not always called Old City. At one point it was called City. Then they just stopped, dude. Like, you know, I don't know, man. कुछ मत बनाओ नया. I don't have a problem with that. But population भी एक चीज होता है ना. And it keeps exploding. And if that's the area where everybody goes into the weekend, whenever I go into that area, I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker of human beings too. It's like I'm trapped inside a cooker. Nothing is enough in that area. You know, every shop is just vomiting itself out onto the road. Every road is going into a shopping complex. I'm like, how did you build? Dude, I have never been stuck in traffic while walking. Happens every time, man. Old City. But I have a favorite place in Old City also. It's the museum. You guys been to the museum? Yeah. Salarjung. When did you go, sir? Schooling. Parso. Parso. You should go now, man. They've got a lot of new old stuff there. So. How many of you have not been to the museum here? 1, 2, 3. You've not been to the museum? Okay, cool. So you've not been to the museum. All right. So whoever's not been to the museum, whatever I'm going to tell you after this point for the next 1 minute is the truth. All right. Why am I giving you this disclaimer? Because I know you will not be able to believe it, but it is the truth. How will you know what I'm saying is the truth? Is because the people who have gone to the museum will start laughing at the right points. But hold on, joke is coming. All right. Cool. Okay. Center of the city, there is Old City, man. Center of Old City, there is the museum. And in the center of the museum, there is a clock too. There is a clock. And this is not any normal clock. This is the only clock in the world with an audience. There is a 70-seater, 70 seats placed in front of the clock. Not like as a Neel Kamal chairs that you can remove and stuff. Not bolt, they've just placed. Even if the building falls down, the clock and those chairs will be there. 70 seats. Now, obviously, you're asking me the question, why? Why are there chairs in front of the clock? Because every day, from various parts of the city, there are people who come into the museum, sit in front of the clock, and watch the clock. Who are these people? I don't know. लोग ऐसा ऑफिस से परमिशन ले रहे हैं कि सर टाइम हो गया मुझे जाके घड़ी देखना है. There are people who come. They come and they sit in front of the clock. You know, whenever it's 12:45, 1:45, or 2:45, na, various people from different parts of the city come into the museum, sit in front of the clock, and start watching the clock. By the time it's 12:50, children from school, excursions, these kids, the buses come and drop them, and they come and they sit behind them. By the time it's 12:53, people start taking their phones out, in which the time is written, but nah. They open the camera, put video mode, and start recording the clock. By the time it's 12:55, they start cheering the clock. They're like, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Just when it hits 1 o'clock, not just when it hits 1 o'clock, there's this one small guy inside the clock. He comes outside, hits a gavel once, and then runs back inside. If it's 2 o'clock, he comes out, hits it twice. If it's 3 o'clock, he comes out, hits it thrice. But the minute this guy comes out, everybody inside starts celebrating. They're all celebrating, you know? Like, you know, people are distributing sweets, like people are dancing, kids are dancing and all that stuff. Couples in the side are making out and all that shit. You know what they're celebrating, right? You know what they're celebrating? You know what they're celebrating? They are celebrating the only guy who comes on time in Hyderabad. थोड़ा लंबा खींच लिया ना इसको.